Hey everyone, Rizwan Jagani here, and here is the long-awaited PSA that I wanted to do last week, but instead I'm doing it today, and here it is. As a disclaimer, I just want to say that this is not meant to be disrespectful, mean, rude. I'm just bringing awareness to something that I notice has been an issue every time I go to a performance sort of thing. I need to put like a rant warning in here at some point for videos like this, because this is a little bit of a rant, but I'm going to try not to rant as much just because I need to keep myself composed. So in the last maybe 5-6 months, I've been to quite a few live performance shows, whether they're orchestra concerts or musicals, and I seem to notice a lot of things that happen that really should not be happening. So I'm going to talk from a general sense, things that I've noticed, things from a musical theater perspective, an orchestra perspective, and then a general performance sort of perspective. So the first thing I'm going to say is cell phones. These little devices that we are addicted to, and we need to be constantly connected to the world that's happening outside of us in the 2.5 hours that we have actually found an opportunity to escape it. Really, you've paid money to leave the world behind you and enjoy 2.5 hours of a beautiful, beautiful presentation, whether it's an orchestra, a play, a musical, something of the sort. You've escaped the world and you can just focus on what's happening around you. What happens is, with the involvement of cell phones, you either have homegirl Snapchatting in front of you with full screen brightness, the lady who forgot to turn off the phone or put it on silent when they say in the beginning of the show, please silence your cell phones, and just in general, the person that is probably recording the show next to you, which all of these are no-nos. In the beginning of every show and performance, they say, please take this time to silence or power off your phones. If you are one person that actually has to keep your phone on, for example, if you're a doctor, you could put your phone on like low brightness. But unless you need to be in that situation, I honestly would just turn the phone off. Come on, you save battery and you've escaped the world of the technology and the dependence of this device for 2.5 hours. The only situation where I can say that I probably used an electronic device of that sort was my iPad when I went to see Mahler Symphony 1 at the Pittsburgh Symphony, where I took my score with me and I sat with my colleagues kind of to the far side with low brightness on the screen, lowest brightness on the screen, so we could follow the score. We're actually performing it this month at Carnegie Mellon. So it was a good opportunity to learn, and in that sense I made sure I did not disturb anybody. However, the girls behind me had a different idea with their Snapchats on full volume that they were watching during the show. And that's the problem. When you have a symphony like that, or even a musical, you have very sensitive spots, and of course that always happens that the ringtone or something is going to blare off during those sensitive spots. It always happens. Murphy's Law applies to these cell phones. The second thing I'm going to touch base on is talking. Why are you and your friend chattering the whole time during a show? I last week went to Beethoven 5 at the Pittsburgh Symphony, and the woman next to me told 2 people to shut up because they were talking the whole time. That also during the second movement, which is the slow movement that is beautiful and has sensitive spots that I've mentioned. And I just did not understand that, you've paid money to see a beautiful performance and you're talking through it. That also, I don't think they were talking about the show because they were giggling. Third thing I want to address is little kids. Parents, I know if you want to bring your little kid to a show to expose them, it might just be a better idea to expose them at an age when they are actually able to sit and take in something that's around them, or fall asleep if they're too tired, rather than a kid that's going to probably want to run around or make noise. I have a 2-year-old niece. She's gorgeous, she's cute and everything, but she's a total diva, and in some situations she will not sit still. I know that, but when she sees me play, different story. She actually likes to see me play because she's seen me play ever since she was born, actually. But that's the situation. I've played at weddings and gigs and stuff where I have little kids running around me, and it's a distraction. As a performer and as an audience member, you're probably going to get looks for that. Now I'm going to shift to the orchestra side. The only etiquette really I would say is that just don't clap in between movements. I mean, that's a pretty much unwritten rule that people know because the piece isn't really over until the end of the last movement. However, if for example, Pittsburgh Symphony and Dallas Symphony give some amazing performances of usually the first movement of a piece, and people just have to clap because they're just so taken aback by it. My rule of thumb is, unless someone else does it, don't do it. If people start clapping and you feel like you need to clap, go for it. More power to you. I just don't, because I'm a musician and I'm probably a snob in that sense that I don't clap in between movements. Now from a musical theater perspective, usually in between songs or things you clap and you sort of cheer and whatnot. But the one thing that always catches me off guard is at the beginning of shows, in musical theater sort of plays and things like that, you're actually allowed to bring food into the auditorium. And they usually say at the beginning, please take this time to unwrap any candies that you might have and you want to eat, because candy wrappers make a lot of noise. And just like in the cell phone situations, people like to unwrap their candies at very sensitive, soft sections of pieces. I don't know why that's a thing, but that is just also something to keep in mind. Another thing during musicals is that I seem to always notice that there's a choir of people around me that is not in the ensemble on stage, singing with the show, essentially. Like, I think I counted maybe 4 people around me singing with Glinda and Elphaba when I just saw Wicked here in Pittsburgh. Please don't sing during the show. If you know the lyrics and you feel like you have to sing your heart out, lip sync, please. And then lastly, general performance setting. I've played at parties, I've played at corporate events, I've played at weddings, and I always notice that people seem to love talking during performances. If someone has the stage and they want your undivided attention, please give them your undivided attention. Even if you don't like what's going on, just zone out, honestly. Just don't be disruptive to the performer, who will probably remember the fact that you were being disrespectful, especially if that person knows you, or you're going to disrupt the audience members that are actually trying to pay attention. I am so sorry if this came off as a rant or this came as if I was targeting people, but I just noticed this happen way too many times for me to be silent about it. As a performer and as a frequent tour and froer from, concert halls, musical theater, and all these things, I enjoyed these things, but nothing ruins the experience of someone that is just neglecting to do their part to be respectful to themselves, the performers on stage, and their fellow audience. I really hope you guys learned something from this, and I hope you guys agree with me on this and are doing the needful to be a good audience member. Please be sure to give me a thumbs up on this video, subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so, share this video with your friends and family and people who you feel like could benefit from this episode, and encourage them to subscribe as well. Please stay tuned for my upcoming adventures. I'm headlining my first show in Pittsburgh this weekend, and I'm really excited, so I hope I can get some videos from that in a timely manner that I can put on this channel for you to enjoy. Until then, thank you so much. Bye!